Around the Ozarks is now on your FM radio. Listen to Around the Ozarks mornings with Grace Gooley as I spotlight local people, stories, and podcasts, all while playing the country legends of the 90s and the hit makers of the 2000s. It's on the Ozarks Best Country, 105.1 The Bull.
Hi, this is Joy Robertson. As many of you know, I love food. I love finding new restaurants. I love trying new dishes. And most of all, I love talking to the many great restaurateurs and entrepreneurs we have here in the Ozarks and beyond. I love hearing their stories, and that's what this podcast is all about, learning more about them and their journey. So join me as we savor the Ozarks. This episode is brought to you by Jim's Steakhouse and Pub and Springfield's locally owned Fazoli's. You know, I get people sending me recommendations, people to talk to on Savor the Ozarks, but never have I had so many people reach out to me about the conversation I am going to have today. I am sitting across from Katrina Hagan, also known as Kat, at a place called the Safe Spoon. And Katrina, we're recording this in February 2026. You've been open barely. How long have you been open now?
Let's see, our grand opening day was January 6th. So like 11 days now we've been open, so not very long. So it's very fresh being in this restaurant space.
Okay, you said January 6th. Did you mean February 6th?
February 6th, yes, I'm sorry. See, that's where I'm at mentally right now. February 6th was our official opening date. We got the keys to this place in November, so we have been doing renovations through November. January 6th, though, was the day we started our employees. That's why that's in my...
Okay, that's why it's in your head. Well, when you said that, I was like, oh, wait, she's been open longer than I thought, because they just barely opened the door here. Okay, so here's the deal. The Safe Spoon is an allergy-free cafe. I want to know how you came to have an allergy-free cafe. You also have a bakery. But what does that mean to people with food allergies will get it, I suppose. But for everybody listening, what does that mean to have a truly allergy-free restaurant?
So a truly allergen-free restaurant means that you're not serving anything at all with allergens in it. So we don't have a single dish here with gluten or dairy or eggs or nuts or soy. We are free from everything. So that means there's no risk of cross-contamination, and that means there's also less conversations that have to be had at the register for people asking about, oh, I need this, but I can't have this on it or this or that. Now we can make accommodations for people who maybe have like an onion allergy or like a strawberry allergy and stuff like that, and change gloves. But for the top main allergens and mammal, there's absolutely none of that in our facility.
What led you to this? And I don't want to get too deep into your medical history or anything like that, but do you, or your loved ones, your family deal with those sorts of issues?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with lupus back in 2022, and I was super sick for a long time. And to heal myself, I had to completely change my diet. I developed a ton of food allergies, sensitivities, and then a few years into my journey, my husband developed alpha-gal syndrome from the tick bite that causes a total mammal allergy. So kind of with both of our allergies combined and not being able to eat out anywhere, we just thought there has to be a better option for people like us out there. And so as we started selling baked goods out of the house, we learned there was a very large community of people.
Okay, so you mentioned baked goods. Sensitively Sweet is something you started how long ago?
I started Sensitively Sweet in September of 2022 is when it officially launched. So it's been a little over 3 years now, and it's the exact same concept as this. Otherwise, we do just desserts and breads. So like we have white bread, sourdough, we have brownies, brookies, cookies, cupcakes, anything pastry related you could think of is what we sell there.
And is it all allergen-free as well?
It's 100% allergen-free. We even have like products like mixes, baking mixes that we sell at Mama Jean's and Hy-Vee online. So it's like a full-fledged bakery. You can walk in Monday through Saturday and get any dessert you want.
I usually don't say this to people that I talk to, but I'm going to say it to you now. Are you 12 years old? You look like, and I mean no disrespect, Kat, at all. You are the most youthful person to have done the things you've done. Are you even 30 years old yet?
I'm not. I'm 27.
Okay.
I'm 27. So I started this, I was probably like 23 when I started baking and stuff. And I just had a passion and I just went for it. So...
Well, and you've done other things too, because when you walk into the Safe Spoon, the first thing you're going to notice, I think, is the decor. The decor is so cheerful and pleasing, and turns out you spent several years as an interior, I say several years, a few years as an interior designer.
Yes, so my degree is in commercial interior design and construction management through Missouri State. I graduated in 2021. I was hired on as a designer before I had graduated, so I worked full-time as a designer for 5 years at Groom's office environments in Springfield before I decided to pursue the bakery full-time.
Well, I'm so impressed with you and what you have done in a relatively short lifetime. You are very talented and very, very driven, obviously. But you saw a need for this with your condition and then your husband's condition. What has the response been from the public? All I can think of is what I've heard people say. What has the response been since you put the word out that you were going to open a restaurant?
It's honestly been very overwhelming. There was a lot of eyes on this project. People were very excited. I remember when I opened Sensitively Sweet, we got when we were announcing the brick and mortar, because before we just did it out of the house and sold at the farmer's market weekly. When we put out the brick and mortar for Sensitively Sweet, we got like 400 likes, maybe 15,000 views on that post. And then when we announced the Safe Spoon, we're talking thousands of likes, hundreds and hundreds of shares. I think it was over 250,000 people saw the post on Facebook. So it was immediately overwhelming because my husband and I were like, there's a lot of eyes on this. We have to get it right. And so we really laid the pressure on ourselves to get this right, make it an enjoyable space and food that tastes good, as well as nourishes the body, being free from all the allergens and stuff. So since we've opened though, absolutely insane. Every single day has been lines out the door, insane. We cannot keep up here, honestly.
I know some people get almost emotional when they think about the opportunity to go out and not have to worry, because the worry of cross-contamination, I mean, it's a worry for the individual who lives with it, but it's a worry for a restaurateur who really wants to get it right. This must take away a lot of that anxiety for you to know that you have it figured out in the back.
Yes, I think that our process of reading ingredients, vetting products, making sure what we're bringing in the facility is safe gives us the peace of mind to serve it to people, but also just the response from people. I mean, the amount of tears we've shared with customers, because it's like a little girl who's 6 years old who's never gotten to pick from a menu before in her life. Or it's like a mom with her kids and she has alpha-gal, her daughter has celiac, and this is the first meal they've got to sit down and share together in a restaurant ever. And so it's just it's just a place of community. It's a place of gathering and fellowship. And so it's just been so sweet and just so beautiful to be able to watch people make connections over food.
I can only imagine how special that is. And I've talked, and this is not about me, but I have talked about this on the podcast before. I was diagnosed with alpha-gal a couple years ago. Never had any symptoms, still don't have any symptoms. I'm one of the lucky ones that can pretty much sit down and tear through a ribeye or a cheeseburger. It doesn't bother me in the least. But most people who have it, I suppose, I don't know if most or not, but a lot of people who have these are deathly sick, ER sick, anaphylactic shock sick, and you can alleviate that for people.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of people out there who are still trying to figure out their alpha-gal diagnosis. It can take years to even get diagnosed, or months. But it's not just red meat, it's dairy, it's natural flavorings, it's, you have to watch the sugars that's in stuff, even the filtration on your water. So you really have to be so careful. Just us even finding a safe turkey bacon was important to us, because the majority of turkey bacons out there on the market aren't safe for people with alpha-gal because of the additives they put in it. So it really is hours and hours of thought going into the ingredients, researching, calling companies to make sure that people with alpha-gal can safely enjoy these products.
I met your husband, Alec. He's back there. And you're very gracious to give me some time here because I know you're so busy and your upcoming lunch rush could be crazy today, as I'm sure it is. But is this full-time for both of you now?
Yeah, so he joined the business this summer full-time. He was an agriculture teacher at Republic High School, so he ran the whole farm at the school. He has, cows, pigs, sheep, and he loves farm animals so much, but he was allergic to all of them, and being a teacher right now is really, really hard. And so he just kind of was really passionate about this mission too, so we were able to bring him on full-time in July, and that was a transition. And then this past October, we're like, let's just do the cafe. Let's just figure it out and do it. We felt like we were being called to that, and so we were like, let's just put our eggs in this basket and leave. So,
well, and you did it, and you did it well. Are you from here?
So my husband's from Rogersville. I was born in Springfield, but I actually grew up outside of St. Louis, and we met when I was back down here for college. We were both attending Missouri State, and he kind of hooked me in, and so I decided I was never going to leave.
Well, I hope you stick around for a very long time because this is just really cool what you're doing. So you're a breakfast and lunch place.
Yes.
Talk about your menu. What you got on the menu?
Okay, so I adore our menu so much. Our breakfast menu has our top selling item, which is our biscuits and gravy. And if you haven't had them yet, you have to come in and try because we have a delicious flaky biscuit that we make at the bakery, and then we get them here frozen and we bake them. And then we have a chicken sausage gravy that's completely house made. It's super savory. It's really delicious. We have pancakes, which is made from our sensitively sweet pancake mix. We have avocado toast, sun butter banana toast, cinnamon sugar toast, and you get a pick between our white bread and our sourdough, which is both from sensitively sweet, 100% allergen-free. I love our sourdough because it is all naturally fermented and it's super clean ingredients. And then for lunch, we're mainly soup, salad, sandwiches, but we have very delicious sandwiches. My favorite on the lunch menu is probably the Niangua, which is named after our favorite summer spot, the Niangua River, because we are river rats at heart. But I like it on the toasted sourdough. It has chicken, turkey bacon, caramelized onions, a garlic aioli, and it has a date barbecue sauce on it, and it is so delicious.
A date barbecue sauce. Interesting. Did you come up with all the menu items, the two of you?
So we came up with a majority of them. My husband honestly really took that into his hands. He has been the cook in our family for years now, and so I'm the baker, he's the cook, so these are mainly his recipes he came up with. We did have a private chef help us with some of our sauces, like our Caesar dressing and stuff like that, but we have paired some local products into our menu as well.
I'd like to talk about local products because I know you're big on local products. I see some in your drink case up front, and of course you have your own bakery items. How important is the local aspect?
Local is so important to us. We got our start at the farmers market of the Ozarks, the one at Farmers Park in Springfield, and a lot of these are vendors we met there. And it's just such a wonderful community space where everyone's lifting each other up. And so I'm if I'm gonna make it this big in a restaurant, I'm taking you guys with me because I believe in their products so much because I've seen the hard work that they put into it. So we have Pesto for All, which they have a farm outside of Ava, and they grow their own basil. They make their own pesto, and it's completely allergen-free, no dairy, no nuts, super clean, super delicious. So we have a Pesto for All sandwich inspired after them with their pesto on it. We have Yes Honey, which is another local brand that I absolutely adore. Heather, the owner, has alpha-gal, so she has a lot of ties, to the allergen-free community, and all of her sodas are honey sweetened and completely alpha-gal safe. And then she has honey drizzlers, so we have different sandwiches, drinks, and salads with her honey drizzlers on them, which I love too.
So you say your favorite is the Niangua. What are the other fan favorites here?
The Ozark Honeybird sandwich has been a top seller. So that's chicken, turkey bacon, mayo, lettuce, and then Dijon, and you get a pick between 3 different honey drizzlers. So you can do garlic honey, peach habanero honey, or raspberry jalapeno honey. So it's super customizable to your taste. And then another big one is our Julius, which is our Caesar salad with a homemade Caesar dressing. And we do crushed sourdough croutons on it and roasted chickpeas as well.
My goodness. I mean, but you really do have something for everyone. Like I see avocado toast on your, I don't know if it's just breakfast or breakfast and lunch, but I love me some avocado toast. What do you hear from people who don't have food allergies that come in here? I think this is a place where anybody can be satisfied, right? Because these are hearty plates.
I completely agree. We have a lot of families that come in where maybe just one or two people in the family have an allergen, and the husband or wife or kids are like, this is so good. I would never even know that this was gluten-free, dairy-free, and all of the above. So it's really been a great response from our non-allergen people. Even my dad, who is like the pickiest eater on the planet, loves our food here. So that's saying something if you knew him.
Okay, well, go Dad. You expect Dad to be on board, but you also want Dad to be satisfied. And if you can get it right with Dad, you're probably getting it right with a lot of people. You mentioned Yes Honey, and you mentioned the owners Marty and Heather, and you've had a benefit for them, or maybe you still are, because they had an issue come up around mid-February, which you have a big heart, I can tell.
Yeah, so Heather and Marty Mincer own Yes Honey, and Heather and I have grown close throughout the last few years. We kind of started our businesses at the same time, and I'm like the age of her oldest daughter, but she is like a friend, a mentor to me. She has been a huge part in just like, keeping my faith through the business, keeping, my drive going and stuff. But her husband, Marty, last week was in a pretty terrible motorcycle accident, and he has fractures all down his spine, and he's very lucky to not be paralyzed. Well, he owns his own refrigeration business too, and he's actually our refrigerator repairman here as well. And so we just adore both of them, and he's going to be out of work for a while. He has a long road of recovery ahead of him. So this Friday and Saturday, we're doing the Be Strong benefit for Heather and Marty, where people can come in, they can get the Ozark Honeybird, we have a few coffee drinks with the Yes Honeys, we have a honey pancake in the morning too, and all the proceeds from that we're going to donate back to Heather and Marty to kind of help them during this rough time that they're facing. So, okay. And that's the whole point of Sensitively Sweet and the Safe Spoon, is to give back to our community and to help people. And even though we've only been open 2 weeks, it doesn't mean we can't give yet, because that's what we're here for. We're here to support people. We're here to help people. And that's what our mission is all about.
When you're responsible for feeding a group, you want it to be simple. And, of course, you want everyone to love it. Zoli's Catering makes it easy with baked pastas, pizza, fresh salad, and our famous signature garlic breadsticks. It's a great fit for any size office lunch, meeting, family gathering, team meal, or any occasion. Find the menu and order online at fazoli's.com.
Fast, fresh, Italian, Fazoli's.
Some people check the weather. Others check our soup of the day. Hi, this is Jim with Jim's Steakhouse and Pub. Our soup of the day changes, but the comfort never does. Just check with your server, because nothing takes the edge off a cold day like whatever's simmering at Jim's.
When you walk through those legendary doors, you're gonna find there's so much to love. So do yourself a favor, dig that service and flavor. Jim's Steakhouse and Pub.
Let's talk about the coffee. Tell me what you have in terms of coffee drinks.
So we have a full espresso bar here, which is something that was really important to us when doing the cafe. So we have a local roaster. Their name is New Story. They're in Nixa, and we absolutely adore them. They're a fantastic company, but they thrive off of high quality beans. And so they go and they meet their farmers, and a lot of their farmers are organic practices or certified organic too. They get the beans from them, and it's fully inspected. There's absolutely no mold, no toxins, no pesticides, anything like that with their beans. And then we get them roasted weekly. So our beans are super fresh. So we have a house blend. It's the New Story house blend for our drip, and we love that one. That's my husband's favorite. We have our espresso blend, and then we have our decaf blend, and the decaf is organic, and it's a water bath too. So it's a little bit easier for people with chronic illness or autoimmune disease that still want that taste of coffee but can't handle like the effects of like a regular chemical decaf. And then we use oat milk, Oatly, so it's certified vegan and certified gluten-free. And then we also use flax milk by Good Karma, which is certified vegan and certified gluten-free. And we have 2 separate steam wands as well. So there's no cross-contamination with the 2 different milks too, if you have a sensitivity to oats or flax.
What's your favorite coffee drink on the menu?
That's a good one. So we have a lot of flavors here, and we use only organic flavoring for our coffee, but mine is probably the salted maple or the Rider chai, which is our current Valentine's one that we're going to keep for the full month because it's an organic chai with a homemade strawberry syrup in it, and it's super good.
Oh my gosh, that sounds dreamy. I'm sure people come in just for coffee, but honestly, don't cheat yourself. Have something to eat while you're here, right?
Our first week of being open, it was like 8 days. I took the numbers. We sold over almost 500 coffees from that coffee bar, which I thought was just insane because I was like, oh, maybe we'll sell 20 coffees a day, and we're selling almost 100 a day. So it's been really awesome to see people get excited, and people are able to have steamed milk now when they've never been able to have that before because of cross-contamination with dairy and like almonds or some like almond milk or anything like that. So it's just been great. We've had several people say it's the best coffee they've ever had, and I was like, that's crazy, but that's really cool that you think that. And so it's been fun because I haven't been able to have coffee in 5 years, and I can actually drink our decaf with absolutely zero problems at all. So it's been really cool to be able to enjoy coffee myself as well.
You still have Sensitively Sweet, obviously, because you bring in the baked goods, the muffins and the cinnamon rolls. Oh my goodness, you have a bakery case up there that's beautiful. So you've at least double your workload, right? So is it tough going back and forth and being here and there and everywhere?
It's been a transition, that's for sure. I think the last few months have been like some of the hardest months of my life, but some of like the best and most rewarding of my life too. I have the best team like ever at the bakery and here too, but those bakery girls, they have it down. They are working so hard to keep us running here too by making the breads and the desserts and the mixes, and they're running the storefront, and they're keeping Mama Jean's stocked and our other local vendors and stuff stocked. And then our team here is fantastic too. I don't think I could do this without like the team members that we have. They're like family to us. So.
I always like hearing restaurateurs talk about their employees and their team because they do give props to people who they couldn't do all this without them. How many employees do you have?
I think we're up to 14 officially between both locations. We're still looking to hire some more prep cooks because we're having a hard time keeping up with the demand here in the kitchen. But yeah, we're up to about 14 employees. We have about 5 of them full-time across the board. But we're just very blessed to have the team that we do.
Do you cook sometimes? Do you jump in there and get the job done?
I do. I do cook sometimes, and my husband does too. Anymore, it's more managing on my computer, payroll and taxes and ordering and all of this. But even like for holidays and stuff like that, my husband and I will jump in and make cinnamon rolls and breads and do whatever we need to. So
when these folks back in the kitchen applied to come to work here, I can only imagine that maybe some of them applied because they know or live in this environment where they have to be very careful what they're exposed to.
Yes, so a lot of our employees here do have food allergies or like direct ties to family members with food allergies. But even if they didn't, if they just showed a drive and willingness to work and learn and help, we were totally all about it, because we sat down and we do an allergen training with all of our staff. So we talk about what are the top 9 allergens, what does that look like, what's cross-contamination, and so we teach them everything they need to know about it, so then they can like go into our kitchen with as much like empowerment as possible to know that they are creating something important and safe for people to enjoy.
I would venture to guess some of the people who maybe even deal with food allergies who are in that kitchen learned something when they got here. Because when you're faced with something like that, now you're trying to navigate. I mean, I went about a year avoiding dairy and red meat and all of that, and I would maybe throw some eggs in a skillet or some chicken and think, this is the same skillet we've used forever, and my husband cooked bacon in it this morning. And I thought, well, I'm probably just contaminating myself. But so those are the things that people probably don't really think about.
Right. So we push our employees to learn and grow. And something I like to tell everybody is the day you're no longer willing to learn anything new is the day your business is no longer going to succeed. So you always have to be willing to learn, grow, and adapt and change. And so even just my own personal, I'm learning something new every single day. And I'm learning things from my employees too, who have maybe worked barista jobs or different cook jobs. And they're like, hey, this is actually a better way to do this. And they tell me why. And so we will adapt and change based off of their feedback and stuff.
You mentioned there are like 9 major allergens, I think you said. What are they?
Okay, you're getting them. I have to go right off the top of my head. So we have gluten, dairy, eggs, nuts, soy. There's fish, shellfish. We have
wheat.
Wheat is one of those.
Okay.
That's wheat and gluten. So gluten is in wheat and stuff like that. Oh gosh, it's so early for the morning.
It's okay. You don't have to answer every word of that. But I never thought about it. Like I don't understand how all of that works. And I think so many people find out about an allergy that they have years later because they don't know what's bothering them. And then it takes a lot of testing to get to the bottom of it, right? I mean, is that kind of what you went through?
Yeah, so I was chronically ill for a good 5 years before I got any answers about what I was allergic to. And my husband had several months of it, before we knew it was alpha-gal. And so it can be like an extremely challenging and isolating time too. It's like, oh, you just found out you're allergic to, these things. You can no longer go out and eat with your friends wherever you want. You can no longer just like go with the flow. You can't leave your house without thinking, do I have food packed for myself? Am I going to have something to drink? Am I going to be able to make it through the day? And then also on top of it, there comes the fatigue and the sickness too. And so it's a lot to battle, and it can be a very lonely, isolating feeling.
You used the word isolating, and I smiled, and here's why. I smiled because I thought to myself how people must feel when they come in here, and they don't have to feel that way anymore. I love the story about, you said, a young girl who's never ordered off a menu before. Give me some more sort of anecdotal examples of what you've seen in here, without naming names or anything, but what are some of the success stories you've seen in your short time open?
That's such a good one, because I feel like I'm in a position where I get to see amazing success stories daily. I've got to see patients, or not patients, but they're like a patient, of an allergy clinic or something with alpha-gal or with like some other allergies, and I get to hear their stories about trying to reintroduce certain allergens and stuff, and it's been successful, and they can now eat peanuts and stuff, and that just takes like a load of stress off of their shoulders. I've got to meet people who drive all the way from like Arkansas or Kansas or Oklahoma just to try our stuff, because they are like so set on supporting us and so excited to see that we have a place that they can 100% fully eat at. And I think that's really the main thing, is we have a lot of customers here that just don't feel comfortable at other restaurants. And I never want to put down any other restaurant. Now, being a business owner and a restaurant owner, it is hard. This is hard work. But there is a lot of places out there, unfortunately, that just don't understand cross-contamination. And while maybe the manager understands it and the owner understands it, if the employee doesn't understand 100%, you just not changing your glove or touching something with gluten and then touching something that's gluten-free can make someone sick. It's just, there's so many things you have to think about, and there's so much attention to detail that has to go into it. So just to let people walk in and just be like, anything I want, it's been great. I actually got to work the register for grand opening and stuff. And so that was so much fun, just to get to like see my people that had been supporting my business from 2022 to now, and then meeting new faces too. It's just been such a really cool thing.
I saw on your social media, I think a couple from Northwest Arkansas came here. I want to say it was like their anniversary or something. Was that right? And they drove up, and they were so excited to be able to enjoy lunch or breakfast or both, whatever they had when they were here, without worry.
Yes, so I think they came for breakfast, but I got to sit down and actually talk with them for a bit. And they were just so thankful, like tears in their eyes thankful. So then, of course, I'm crying too, because if I see someone cry, I'm going to cry. But it's just like, that's what it's all about. Like, that is 100% what it's all about. We've had several people come from different states away specifically just for us. And I'm like, it just feels surreal that we're like a destination.
Well, one of my friends who recommended that I come here, Kelly, said, you know, you need to open one in Branson. And I know you're just barely open here, but have you thought into the future what you might do with this? I mean, I don't know. You know, maybe there's a franchise down the road for you. Who knows?
You know, that's been the talk lately. A lot of people are asking what's next. And while I'm still trying to recover from this and still getting this down, I'm already like, okay, well, we have a year left on our lease in Nixa on that location. How can we get us under the same roof, you know? And so I think my goal is going to be in like 3 years to get the bakery and the cafe under the same roof together, because they are so vital for each other. And then I would love to franchise that. I think that I want food, allergen-safe food. I want it everywhere. I think that it's something that could be really big everywhere. I don't know how to do that. But also, I didn't know what I was doing when I opened this and we got it done. So I'm like, sometimes we're just winging it, but it's working out, so we'll take it.
What are your hours? What time do you open? What time do you close, at least right now?
So right now we're open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We serve breakfast till 10:30, and then we switch over to our lunch menu.
Okay, so as of now, it's breakfast and lunch. Any thought in the future of maybe doing dinner? Or, I mean, first things first, but you ever think about that?
We've thought about adding dinner service on maybe Fridays and Saturdays, you know, just like peak days. Right now we have to figure out how to like support the hours we are open. So if we were to do that, it probably wouldn't be for another like 6 to 12 months, but that's definitely been a conversation. So
you said you and your husband are river rats. What other hobbies do you have? You like to float, you like to boat, you like to fish. What all do you do when you're not here?
So we're big outdoors people. My husband is a big hunter. We're both big fishermen. We love to fish. We will fish and then we'll, clean them ourselves and fry them up. We love doing that. And then we like to just sit at the river, read. We're big gardeners, so we're really passionate about just like eating wholesome, filling ingredients. So we're really into gardening and stuff. We're supposed to buy his grandpa's farmhouse this summer. And so we're really excited to get in there and then have a garden that his family's been growing in for over 50 years, really to like support us and everything. But for the most part, we're just pretty laid back, chill people. We like to lay out in the sun, read books, and just have a good time.
I'm seeing dinners out at the farm, at Grandpa's farm, maybe like a pop-up sort of thing. I've got all these ideas going through my head. Do you have a family?
We don't have a family, but hopefully really soon we'll be able to start adding, little babies to our family and stuff. He turns 30 this September, and I turn 28 this June. And so we've been together for almost 9 years now. So we're super excited to start our family, and our 6-year wedding anniversary is in May.
Wow, congratulations. Well, with family comes a lot of responsibility, and, you've got nothing to do right now, so you've got all the time in the world. Right. You'll be fine. I do think maybe there would be room for like a little bassinet and a carrier in here, that those of us who could watch while you run and make a latte or something like that. I've seen people bring their little kids to the restaurant and they're brought up in it. Did you have anybody in the restaurant business growing up in your family?
We didn't. So my mom was a cake decorator growing up. When I was growing up, she just did that on the side of the house. She was kind of some of the people that really helped push the 2014 legislation called the Cottage Act, which allowed home bakers to sell out of their home in Missouri. And so she was really behind that and everything. And then she kind of gave it up as I got to high school. Then my sister was in middle school and my brother was in elementary school. And so she was just so torn between, all three of us and our activities. And she was just like trying to be as present of a mom as she could be. So I think I just got my work ethic from her, though, like working really hard, always doing something. And then my husband is one of the hardest workers I know, too. So, and we're both very type A, like alpha people. So it's kind of funny. We can butt heads a lot running a business together, but I love spending every single day with him and stuff.
Well, I think you've got it just you're in it appears to me you're in a really, really good, happy place. And I can tell by the look on your face that you are content and you're happy and you're very proud of this place, and you have a ton of people who are behind you for sure. How do people learn more about the Safe Spoon?
So we don't quite have our website up and running yet, but you can go to sensitivelysweet.com, and we have under locations, we have a Safe Spoon tab. On there, we also have our allergen-free menu guide. So what that is it's a PDF broken down of full ingredient list of every single item that we have. So if you have kind of unusual allergies or sensitivities, you can go on there and search the entire guide to find something that'll fit with your diet and allergens. Food transparency and ingredient transparency is super important to us here. And then we're on Instagram, Safe Spoon SGF, and then Facebook, The Safe Spoon. And you can also follow us at Sensitively Sweet on Instagram and Facebook too.
Well, I haven't seen this much excitement about a restaurant in a long time, and I just love it. I'm super impressed. Katrina Kat Hagan of the Safe Spoon and Sensitively Sweet, thank you for spending time with me on Savor the Ozarks.
Thank you. It was so great to meet you and talk to you, and I just really appreciate you coming in and learning more about our space.
Be sure to go to AroundTheOzarks.com to sign up for our daily newsletter, where you can get every episode of Savor the Ozarks, plus all our other podcasts, events, and contests straight to your inbox. And what are your favorite dishes in the 417? You have any restaurants you'd like me to visit? Email me at joy@AroundTheOzarks.com.